He used to cook all the time too.
I think that's why that's probably why he kept me around, because I was cooking all the time. And then like,
have you guys heard of the term? I just found this out recently. Apparently, people are saying there's a term called hobosexual. Is where you get into a relationship so you have a place to stay.
I know people who do that. Like,
yeah. One of the things that I wanted to go over with you guys too is I know at the very beginning you guys wanted to start the podcast as like a relationship advice kind of like piece or something like that. So now that I have you guys here, I have a question about relationships.
Okay.
That was so in sync too.
We'll try to answer as best we can, I guess.
We're not no relationship guru or anything, but we can point you in the right directions.
I mean, you started it off to be relationship advice, so you got to know something.
I mean,
I feel like people don't really listen to advice. Like our pod is just basically having different conversations.
Yeah.
You can just pick and choose what you want to take from it.
Right. I mean, like it is relationship oriented or based in mostly our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the longest relationship I've been in. About to be
12.
12?
Yeah.
12 years.
Dang.
And I mean, we've learned
a lot
over the
about
years. Ourselves, each other. And it hasn't been the easiest thing. I mean,
no one's perfect.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We're doing a lot better than we used to, because I feel like we used to argue a lot. I don't think we argue as much. And then like our argument they're not like bad. Yeah. It's nothing like serious, it's either like him getting irritated about something and then we're talking about it
in front of the TV while I'm playing a video game.
Well,
oh, come on.
Right. If he would sit on the opposite side of the couch, then I would never pass in front of him. But he sits in a corner. So like we have a sectional. He would sit, like, let's say this is the sectional. Uh-huh. He'll sit like over here, and the TV's there. Yeah. So I don't have any other place to go but over here. So for me, when I get up, I have to walk in front of the TV. And even when I wait to where, because he plays Marvel Rivals. I will wait until he's like, let's say he dies and he's like having to go back to the battle. I would wait sometimes to walk across the TV. Even that's a problem. He was like, "Oh, there you go, walking in front of the TV again." I was like, I literally waited until you had a time where I could walk across. And sometimes I can't wait I have to go do something, and I have to literally, and I try to walk as fast as I can. I don't like literally stand in front of the TV. That reminds me of a saying, actually.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
So back home, we would say something like, "Your father doesn't make glass." In other words, does your father produce, like, the child that he produced, is he glass? The fact that you're standing in front of the TV, like,
it's calling you fragile, like,
do you think I can see through you?
Oh, okay.
So, right. I don't like stand in front of the TV. Like, I don't like literally like stand in front of him unless I'm trying to annoy him. And I know better than to do that, because I'll probably be sleeping on the couch if I sit there and stand in front of the TV while he's playing the game. Because when he's playing the game, I
don't hear anything.
He don't hear anything. He doesn't see anything. He doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to me. I'm just like, because I'm not much of a gamer. And then when I ask questions about the game, I guess that sometimes that annoys him. I'm just trying to understand it. Because I don't do well with games. Like even younger, when I was in high school, all my friends, big video game nerds. We would like sleep over on the weekends and stuff like that. I'll just be there. They would be playing the game all day, and I'm just there. I just never had much interest in playing like.
We try
video
It
games.
Takes Two.
Oh, that's the co-op one, right? Where you have to work together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
I think we
how did that go?
played it for, like, we tried to play it again.
We played it twice together, but because he's so what's the word?
Did your professionalism mode go off?
He does this every day. You know, so it's easy for him. I'm not saying that, like, I'm bad, but I'm not like bad, but it's just like because he gets across and figures out what to do so quickly, and then he's waiting on me. I guess that annoys him. Yeah. So he was just like, you know what? I don't want to play this anymore. But I know this game has started like major arguments between couples.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a couple of videos.
Have you guys heard of Overcooked? You know, the cooking game? Okay, it's similar. It's kind of similar to It Takes Two, where it's like you have to work together but the scenario is like you're in a kitchen, right? And then they give you like recipes, and you got to like get the ingredients and cook it and chop up the stuff or whatever. But you got to work together to do it.
I'll probably be good at that.
Oh, dude,
I feel like I would be good at that. It
started a lot of arguments between me and some people just because like I'm like I think I'm pretty decent at the game.
Yeah.
And then also like I have a background in actually working in like the food industry. So I'm organized in that way where I'm like, oh, I know how to do this.
Because I went to school for culinary, so that's what I felt like. And I like to cook. So I was just like, I feel like I'd be good.
Oh yeah, you probably.
I feel like I'd be good at that. And it was like, because I play those like even on the phone. What was it? The one with the restaurant and serving and stuff like that. Like it depends on what kind of game I'm playing.
Yeah.
So like the phone games that I usually play are things that like are brain teasers. Like I like when it comes to video games, I'm just not good at video games. But like like other types of games. When I was younger, I used to play video games, but it used to be racing games.
Okay.
So it used to be like what was it?
Need for Speed
and stuff like that. So I was good at those, but then like those games have changed since then. Since I was younger and in high school, you know, you just had to win a race back in the day. Now it's like there's a whole story mode. I don't remember it being a story mode when I was in high school playing like those racing games.
They always had story modes.
Not the racing ones. Yes. Not the ones I played.
Need for Speed had story modes.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Isn't it just like playing the racing and winning and like going?
Yes, racing and winning, but they had like a story too.
I don't remember that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I've just never been into video games. But anyways, what was the question? we got off topic. What was the question that you were supposed to ask? Because I don't even know how we got to.
How do we get to Need for Speed?
But yeah, what is it that you wanted to ask?
My original question was, you know, and you know, obviously we talked about you guys have been in a relationship for a long time. So, for me, like I went to therapy. I started going to therapy last year, right? And then so one of the things that me and my therapist have been talking about is like for me personally, when I get into a relationship with somebody, for some reason I very easily just like lose myself in that relationship where I'm just like all in for that person, right? Which is not always the healthiest thing. It's not always a good thing. And it's something that I'm learning to like, I got to set my own boundaries and like figure out who I am. And when I'm in a relationship, I can't like let go of that aspect of like, oh, this is me, right? But like, how do you guys keep your individuality while being in a relationship and even in long term too, right?
I don't think we that basically
our last
pod.
Our last episode was actually talking about that, which is weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, do we like the topic was if we had our own self identity, which is basically what you're asking about. Myles feels as though he doesn't have his own identity. I feel like we are one person because like he was telling me recently, because I do it too, when I'm talking to other people, it's always we and not I. And I don't know, it feels weird when I say I. Like, because it's just like, of course, if we're gonna do something, or if I'm gonna do something, of course I have to run that by him just to see, if we have anything planned, if he has anything planned. If, like, let's say he wants to do something and I'm invited to go somewhere, I'd rather just do what it is that he wanted to do rather than go. So, I mean, I don't know if that's not having your own self-identity, but I just feel like in a relationship, I mean, you always have to think about the other person. It's not like, oh, I can just get up and go do this,
But sometimes we do take, like, you went to Miami to visit your mom.
Yeah.
And that whole week I was happy because I could be independent again. Knowing I did text him every, like, hour.
He literally told me not to speak to him when I went.
Unless I reached out.
Unless he reached out. He said that. He literally said that. So I did that. And usually when we are apart from each other, I notice this. Whenever we're apart from each other, we don't really speak that much to each other. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was about to say, why do you think that is?
I feel like...
I think it's because we're both looking to just be apart from each other.
Because I know, like, when we started our relationship, it was so fast.
It was.
It was like after 3 days, we were together.
We were like...
And then every day together.
Because I had my own place, but eventually I was always at his place. And I would, like, literally sleep there, change there, wash my clothes there, did everything that, and I was barely at my apartment. And then eventually we ended up just moving in together. So there really wasn't a time where we were apart. Most couples, they have their own place and at some point decide to move in. We probably was living together probably 2-3 weeks in. Because like I said, he was in student housing and I had my own apartment. We went to the same school.
Yeah.
But he was in housing and I had my own apartment. And I was just always, like I said, I was always at his.
Because it took you like an hour to get
to, because I think I was living in Decatur and didn't have a car. So I was having to take the bus. And my earliest class was at 6. So in order for me to get there in time, I would have to get on a bus, and I would never get to school on time because there wasn't a bus that was leaving my apartment complex early enough for me to get to school on time. So I was always late. So I think that was the major reason why I started staying there, because it was just more convenient. There was a shuttle that ran back and forth from the school to the student housing. So I think that was one major reason, but the biggest reason was because, of course, I didn't want to be apart from him. I feel
he used to cook all the time too.
I think that's why that's probably why he kept me around, because I was cooking all the time. And then, like,
have you guys heard of the term? I just found this out recently. Apparently, people are saying there's a term called hobosexual. Is where you get into a relationship so you have a place to stay.
I know people who do that. Like, you have a place to stay as long as you're in a relationship. You have a place to stay. But I'm
not saying you were, but I'm just saying that just reminded me.
I had my own place. I wasn't homeless. I had my own place. I just, for some reason, I don't know. I just rather be.
At least you cooked for him too. That's nice. Too.
Right. I think, like I said, I think that's why he kept me around. And he always says that's the reason why he stays with me, because I cook.
Yeah, because we did an interview a couple of years ago, and the lady asked us a question. I was like, I like his cooking.
But I feel like we have our own identities. Just, I feel like a big part of our identity is each other.
Yeah.
Because like I think somebody said to me one time, if I see Myles, I see you. If I see you, I see Myles, which is generally the case. When he would literally, like, on the days that I don't cook, he would literally come get me so that we could go back out to get something to eat, instead of him just like going to get it before he gets home. He would come get me when I leave the house. I always ask, you want to come? depending on where I'm going. If I'm going to the grocery store, he's not coming.
I'm not going.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. Yeah, remember?
Yeah, he doesn't like going to the grocery store. Me, I'll go in the grocery store. I'll spend a good 2 hours in the grocery store, even if I'm just going in there to pick up a couple of things, because I like to walk through the aisles and see. He hates going to the grocery store with me. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it is about the grocery store that just makes me want to be in there. But yeah, but if I have to go pick up food or anything like that, we're usually right together. Or but like our lives is pretty much centered around each other. So I mean,
is it healthy?
I don't know. Does it work for us?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was gonna be my follow-up question. Does it work for you guys? Though? Like, like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if we would have ever, God forbid, we split.
Knock on wood.
I
right?
think we'll be around each other.
We'll still probably be around each other. I've told him this before. I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to imagine like a world or a life without him being in it. He irritates me a lot. I irritate him. He pisses me off. I piss him off. But I don't think I could actually like imagine like not being around him or like not being able to see him for like an extended amount of time. Mm-hmm. When we take our time away from each other, it's well needed. But I don't think I could be apart from him for too long. Same thing. Is it healthy?
Does it work though? It works for you guys. Yeah, I guess
it's fine. Yeah,
that's important. Yeah. Because I don't know. I think I'm trying to figure that out for myself too. Like before I jump into my next relationship with whoever I'm with, like, I think because I'm like that too. Like if I'm in a relationship with somebody, like usually I want to spend most of my time with that person or whatever. Like, and if I'm not with them, I'm thinking about them all the time or whatever. But
which I feel like isn't bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but as long as you're able to still hold on to yourself.
It's a balance.
There has to be some type of balance. And exactly. I feel like, yes, I feel like we don't have too much of like individuality, but I feel like if we were like to split, I think we'd be able to, I feel like I don't know about him, but I feel like I would still be able to somewhat function.
I don't think so. I would. Because
what do you mean?
I take breakups really hard. I go into like this dark phase, and it will take me at least like 3 or 4 years.
I'm not saying that I would get over it.
I'm just
like
saying,
right away. I just feel like I'd still be functional. Like I
don't think so.
No.
I'm gonna have to check myself into a mental hospital or something.
I'm not that special.
Are you?
I said I'm not that special.
Oh.
Do you feel the same way about what like he said about how you guys are pretty much like the one?
Yeah, I think we are one. Because sometimes we can finish each other's sentences, or like he'll be thinking of a word and I'll just say it. So it's like, how twins can...
We're in each other's head a lot, I guess.
Finish each other's sentences and think for one another. Literally us.
Twin telepathy.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of differences in terms of like, I guess, opinions on different things.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't let that get into, be a reason why like we don't get along or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, it's just... I feel like, being in a relationship, I'm all for like being there for who you're with, thinking about them, being with them all the time. But as long as, like I said, as long as you don't lose yourself in the process, because everybody needs some type of like self-care, individuality, like, so, to be yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want your entire personality to be just surrounded around your partner. I don't eat this because my partner don't eat this. I don't do this because my partner doesn't do this,
Yeah. That's annoying.
Like,
I know he doesn't like coconuts, so
you brought coconut water. Thanks, man.
He doesn't like it.
I get it for him because that's what he likes. I like coconut water, but I like it straight from the coconut. I just, once you pour it out of the coconut, it's just a different vibe to me. I don't know. I grew up in the Caribbean. I have a coconut tree in my backyard. It was just like I was able to just get it when I wanted. Can't really climb a tree, but my dad would always be the one to go and get it, and then I would drink it straight out the coconut. And then like
how do you like break it open?
So we use a thing that we call it's I guess here on the mainland they would call it a machete. We call it a cutlass.
Cutlass?
A cutlass, yeah. So it's a big old knife, and he would just chop the top off. Like he'll spin it and just cut pieces off until you get to where it's open in the middle. I don't trust myself enough to use that big old knife, but he that's scary. I think it's scary. I just never I've held it, but I've never like physically used it. You know,
got to swing it with some force too.
It's just like I just, you have to be precise on where you're gonna land with it too. So it's just like I used to be scared of like trying to do it and like, oh, I cut too deep or I go too low down. So I just never did it. My dad always did it. He never really tried to show me how to do it, and I didn't really care to do it either. So, but I don't know. But it's just, you know, we have our differences and we try to talk. We're better. I think we're getting better at like communicating. That was a big issue in the beginning. Listening, not cutting each other off. We both do it. I do it more than he does. I don't know if we're having a conversation and he's talking and he says something.
I talk very slowly.
I don't think it's that. It's just that if he says something and it triggers something in my mind that I need to say, I feel the need to have to say it right there and then, because by the time you get done talking, I don't think I remember what it is I had to say to you. And by the time you get done talking, what I had to say is probably like irrelevant. So in my head, I'm just like, I need to say what I need to say right now.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'm getting a little better at not cutting him off. He does it sometimes too, but like I said, I do it more than he does.
Self-awareness is key.
Right. So, I mean, he had to let me know, and we've been saying it for years. It's just there's habits that's kind of hard to break out of.
Yeah.
But if you know about them and you be a little bit more aware, then, you can, I guess, be better at that. But, like I said, we are doing better at communicating now, talking through things, being a little bit more open, I guess, with our feelings.
Yeah. Because in the beginning, I was like,
he struggled with that.
Yeah, just angry.
So, but yeah, I mean, relationships they're hard. As hard as you make them to be.
Yeah.
They are hard, but if you guys, if you get into a relationship and
you set
boundaries is another thing too. But
we didn't set any.
We definitely didn't set any boundaries.
Yeah.
But
that's something that my therapist is like, for me personally, he's like, you need to learn how to do that because you're not good at that.
Tell people no, if you're uncomfortable. Say you're uncomfortable.
I know.
But I mean, yeah, we're just we're still learning.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning. I'm definitely still learning, and it's a learning process. It's hard, but like I said, it can be as easy or as hard as you make it out to be.
Yeah. So I just say, just communicate how you feel,
right,
what you're looking for, and listen to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And that, just because what I used to do is like, I'll listen to him, but it's like I would start to talk before he finishes what he says. And then, that would sometimes start an argument because I rebutted without listening to everything he had to say. So that's why, like, I've been kind of trying to like just shut up and listen. And, I think, as long as you have that communication and
you really care for the person.
Yeah.
So if you're going to put that much energy into, going back and forth because you want to express your feelings. I forgot where I was going with this.
It's a good start, though.
Yeah.
I was feeling that, yeah.
So definitely just, listen and read the room, honestly. And if you guys aren't the perfect match for each other, you can continue to try. But if it's not working, then it's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely had a period where we
thought
it just wasn't going to work. But I feel like once we started communicating a little bit more, things was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
He's definitely been a lot nicer to me since I've gotten sick.
That made me sound horrible.
No, Myles is great.
No, I mean, of course. I mean, I wouldn't still be here if I didn't feel like, there was something there. But I mean, sometimes he like I said, sometimes he could be an ass
below the belt.
Like
when I was younger.
You say you used to?
He used to, and he wouldn't hit below the belt. He would take it to hell. He would just.
But from like my background, that was like normal. Because they still do it.
I mean, if you met some of his family, you'll see why.
I act the way
he acts the way he acts. I could see why he does that. I never understood it until I met like his family.
Very hard people.
It's justified. So, but he's getting better at realizing.
It's okay to show emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to cry.
Yes, I agree.
Because he used to think that I was a little bitch. Because I used to cry about everything. And it wasn't like, I had to explain to him, it's not me. Like when you see I'm crying, I'm not being a bitch. I'm upset. When I get really upset, I cry. It's just, I can't help it. The waterworks just start flowing when I get upset. And when he pisses me off, it's just, but he used to like I said, he used to call me a little bitch because I would always cry if we would get into like an argument and stuff like that. I think I'm getting a little better at not crying, but
I mean, we don't really
argue like that.
Yeah.
But like I think we've been together for 12 years or about to be 12 years, and I think I've only seen Myles cry twice.
It's okay to cry, Myles. It's okay.
But when he's he has his moments, I guess, when
I cry more.
He's cried not with me.
Not around me. You hit like a moment. Like if I'm one-on-one with a person, I'll tear up.
Yeah. I mean,
depending on the subject.
We've laid in the bed and had conversations, and it's usually after like, and it's usually like after an argument. Like we argued about something, and then we talked about it afterwards. Because then we'll argue, and then we'll just not talk to each other for like
5 minutes. In my head, it's 5.
Because one thing about him is he will, like he mentioned earlier, he hits below the belt. He would hit below the belt, and then like 5 minutes later, act like he didn't just say what he said. It's like it never happened. And I don't understand how
you just play it off like, oh, yeah.
It's not even playing it off. It never happened. I feel like in his head it never happened.
So my grandmother used to call me a Credible Hulk, and my temper is just like that. But after like 5 minutes, I'm cool down, and I come and I apologize.
It is mind baffling how he just acts like that just didn't happen.
Because I don't think before I speak, and then because I know, like, especially with his feelings and other people's feelings too, I literally have to think about what I say. Or like earlier, like sometimes I would just say it fucked up, and if I'm not thinking about it the whole way through, then it's going to go left. So like at work, sometimes all the conversations that go left, it's because I'm not thinking anymore.
Yes, we've had many of those moments.
Yeah, he always walked away.
I do.
I had to learn that about, like, I had to kind of learn that about him, because I'm the type of person that if there's something wrong, like, or we're in a disagreement right now, and I have to deal with it right there in that moment. For him, I had to realize that I had to, if things are starting to get a little heated, just walk away. And then, you know, sometimes I try to, like, just not, I guess, respond, you know, even if we're, I'll try to cut it off before it even gets too heated. But I've had to learn to, like, when he gets like that, just to leave him alone. Let him cool down, let him get his thoughts together, because he will just, like, start, you know,
going on rant.
He'll just crash out. So, and I guess, you know, mostly it's because I'm annoying him in that moment. But, you know, I've realized that when I give him the, like, opportunity to actually, like, gather his thoughts, that things doesn't get as bad as it could be.
Yeah, I used to do, like, long walks, go for a drive. I actually drove around 285.
Like
twice.
the whole loop?
Just gathering my thoughts, because, you know, I always said I fight for what you love, and I really didn't want to mess it up again. And I know, like, when I'm not thinking, I'm going to mess it up.
He's definitely a stormer offer.
Yeah.
He likes to, he will leave. But I guess that's his way of, like, getting away from me and trying to get his thoughts together.
Because you remember that one time I drove all the way to Alabama and then drove back. So
did you? Yeah, you made it. Did you make it all the way there?
I made it all the way home, and then I parked in the driveway, and then I just drove back.
Dang. Yeah, I'm the same way though. Like, if I'm in an argument with somebody that I care about, like, I need my space to cool off. Otherwise, I'm gonna say something below the belt, and I'm gonna say something like I'm gonna regret. So I'm the same way. I just go to the other room. Like, he'll be in the living room. I'll just go to the bedroom. He, for some reason, needs to leave the apartment. So, which, I mean, I guess it's the same thing. Just if you're in the same space, it's I don't know. I guess it doesn't give you that same, like...
Yeah, you can still feel the person's energy, because I pick up on people's energy and vibe and stuff. So if I feel that you're angry, I'm going to match.
It pisses me off. I have to go to the other room. I start cleaning. I don't know. He pointed that out to me.
Yeah.
When I get upset, I start cleaning.
And I ask him sometimes, it's like,
are you upset? Like, I'll just be cleaning. And he's just like, are you upset? I was like, no. So, I mean, he thinks I like to clean. I don't like to clean. I just don't like a very cluttered space. So, I hate clutter. I don't enjoy cleaning. I really don't. But he thinks I do, because I'm always cleaning.
So you're always mad.
I'm
pissed off.
I guess so, because I guess that's my, you know, I guess I'm always upset because I'm always cleaning. So that's my go-to when he pisses me off.
All right. We're pretty much wrapping up on time now. But usually I'll have a closing tradition for all of my guests on the podcast, just to share, like, a little bit of, like, a life lesson or some kind of wisdom you'd like to share with me or the audience or anything like that.
That's all you, buddy.
Oh, me.
I used a Caribbean accent too.
Myles. I almost said something.
Caribbean saying.
Something real rude to you just now. I don't have a Caribbean saying that. But I guess for me is, you know, do the best you can. And even if you can't do the best you can, or even if you can't have a great day, don't ruin anybody else's. You know, some people, they're having a bad day, and for some reason they gotta ruin everybody else's day because you're having a bad day. So just, you know, do the best you can and have a great day, and just, you know, don't mess up anybody else's if it's if you're not having a great day. So people feed off of other people's energy. So I'm starting to, I never really used to look into things like that, but being with Myles, he kind of opened my eyes to different things and energy and being around people. And so, but that's pretty much. Do you have anything you
want to add?
Sure.
You can say no if you want to. I don't know. I'm not forcing you.
I mean, I can't think of nothing.
Be as Southern as you want to.
Be as Southern as you want to.
With your Alabama accent.
Oh, I can't do it anymore.
What were you going to say?
I was going to tell him to say license or Ross.
Oh. Oh, it's Southern?
No, he says it's
No,
Southern.
You said,
yeah, apparently when I say certain words, Myles is like, that's so Southern. But I think it's normal. Like, I just say,
Ross.
like, rice or driver's license.
That actually sounds very country. That sounds very, when you said driver's license, that,
I guess I'll say, take one day at a time. Be patient with yourself. And, well, you gotta start with yourself.
Yeah.
So, and don't be too hard on yourself. Stop overthinking. I'm talking to myself.
No, I was about to say, it sounds like you're talking to yourself right now.
That's good advice for for yourself, for everybody else too.
Yeah. So
awesome. Thank you guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Where can everybody find you if they want to check out Moments or anything you guys have to plug?
So on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, and Apple.
Apple and did you do Amazon?
No, I didn't do Amazon.
Okay.
Yet. It's Moments, UMM _. That's the underscore. Moments.
Mm-hmm.
You spell moments for us.
MOME. It's Moments. UMM _MOMENTS. My personal handle, my Instagram is Black Hippie, BLVCK _HI, 2 underscores, HIPPIE.
And mine is my handle is Smilo, SMIYLO.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming on. This has been a lot of fun. And hopefully we can do an episode again on your podcast. For sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice home.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a wrap. Peace.